Listo. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar organized by TINKTAX. TINKTAX is a firm specialized in legal and fiscal services in customs and foreign trade matters. This webinar is called Compliance Solutions Mexico, Maquiladores USA, Mexican subsidiaries and their customs risk, how an evaluation can help mitigate risks. Before we start, I would like to introduce you to Marco Antonio Reyes. Marco Antonio is currently Managing Director at TINKTAX, a specialized firm in tax and legal services in customs and foreign trade matters. He was partner of the foreign trade practice at PwC, where he worked for almost 20 years, and later joined as a lead partner for Mexico and Latin America of the same practice at Andersen, Mexico, being responsible for the development of the practice in 14 countries. He has more than 25 years of experience in technical and operational activities. I would like to introduce you to Milvia Carrillo. She's located in Ohio. She has a business administration BS, marketing minor, Ohio Dominican University. Milvia is a corporate manager of internal audit business process at TS Tech. She has some certifications, as you can see: trade compliance management, internal auditor, supply chain management and procurement, supply chain management principles, inventory management, and manufacturing and service operation. Milvia has more than 20 years of experience with extensive international business experience in manufacturing environment. Before we start, I would like to give the word to Marco Antonio.
Thank you very much, Silvia. Milvia, you're welcome. It's important to mention that Milvia is located in US, in Ohio, and the topics to be discussed today are the statistics of the Ministry of Finance and of the Ministry of Economy, as well as the culture of security, the master plan that the Ministry of Finance published maybe 8 months ago. We are going to talk about many numbers regarding the tax collection report of the Ministry of Finance. We want to discuss or present the more frequent deviations and opportunities that we detect with our clients. And at the end, we're going to talk about the top TINKTAX solutions. Please, any question, let us know through our emails or maybe in the chat of this webinar. And Milvia, thank you for sharing your experience with us. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. I am very excited to be here, and we will go ahead and get started. All right, so we are talking about the imports between Mexico and the US, and we're looking about 122,000 companies and growing so far. Now, from these companies, we know that only about 6,000 of those are maquiladoras and have an IMEX program. 3% of those have a VAT and IEF certification, and close to 4,000 also have a participation in the sectorial program. However, as you can see, only 650 of them also have an OEA program. Honestly, this is a very shocking number considering all the law changes that affected the VAT and IEF certification back in 2020. Many of the AAA companies lost their extended legal stay of the raw materials and are only eligible to regain the time frame lost if they also have the OEA certification. However, many companies are struggling to compile their data and apply for the program. Now, talking a little bit about OEA, most of you know that OEA is the Mexican version of the CTPAT between US and Mexico due to the mutual recognition agreement between both programs. This certification does not only facilitate customs logistics at the border, but also provides recognition to the maquiladora, its customers, and suppliers. As we mentioned, for Mexican VAT certification, OEA is now a prerequisite to be able to take advantage of those benefits. So now, after getting a big picture of the activity between the US and Mexico, and as we start planning on to 2023, we will go over the master plan of the Ministry of Finance. We know that the Ministry of Finance has a very lucrative plan for the upcoming year. They are looking at all of the companies that have not been previously audited, and not just the big contributors as before. They have performed industry analysis and are targeting all the companies that have restructured their Annex 30. And they're also taking an aggressive attempt not to only look at older data, but also at activity from 20 and 21. They're looking at companies that have filed for their VAT and are auditing to see if those recoveries are actually valid. The SAT is not only looking forward to long trails, they're looking for easy money and considering companies to self-correct and pay. So why does this change in the master plan is important to us? They know that most of the exports are to the US and they have a large income marginal potential. Just in 3 years between 2018 and 2021, we have seen about a 9% increase. This increase is only considering large taxpayers. So they're thinking, why do we stop there? Just alone in the first 3 quarters of 2022, they were able to collect 156 million US dollars. Now, in actual growth, we are looking at approximately 16% in tax collection in 1 year alone, and 1.8% growth in VAT collections. So where does all this money come from? Most of it is coming from a voluntary compliance where taxpayers submit their timely tax liabilities. About 16% comes from regularizations of companies that have failed to meet their obligations. And now, with program monitoring activities, they're expecting to increase their collection efforts. So, how do I avoid falling in the cracks and becoming a target for the SAT? There are several opportunities that we usually oversee. Most of us are production focused and do not have a risk preventive culture. We are rather reactive than proactive. Many of us do not have the knowledge or experience to understand and monitor these programs. Many of us struggle maintaining healthy inventory transactions in our ERPs alone, which translate into a worse management for imported raw materials. Some of our assets in a lot of the companies were imported without a serial number mentioned in the invoice, since the companies were set up long ago. And we're not even sure at this time, based on all that information, if we have established permanent residency on this current situation. We, the compliance workforce, work with original, outdated contracts and usually have no visibility to them. We lack KPIs and automated tools that can help us monitor this information. Now, we know that everything is visible to the SAT because of all the information that they have available. All of these deviations are visible by their documentation integration and can lead to IMEX and VAT cancellations, which honestly would be detrimental to all of our operations. Now you're asking, Sue, who is responsible for all of this? It is the US counterpart of all maquiladoras, who are the legal representatives who ultimately carry all the responsibility. When there is an audit, it is the legal representative who needs to be addressed. If legal resolution is required, it is them who attempt and hold all the responsibility. All of this due to poor corporate governance. Now, many of us believe that compliance is expensive, but after fines and program suspensions after audits, non-compliance is far more expensive and time-consuming than doing things right. You may be thinking, well, I'm too busy with my operations, and I will deal with this when this happens to me. It has not happened, so probably it's not likable to happen soon. However, numbers don't lie, and again, they are telling us a story. We are seeing many companies lose their certification in the past years due to non-compliance. And You can ask yourself, are you able to afford your operations without these benefits? How much tax are you going to be paying to continue to do business as usual? At the beginning of the pandemic era, we were struggling to meet our financial goals. So, do you have enough cash flow to sustain an operation without these type of benefits? I have worked with TINKTAX in these areas of opportunities in a couple of projects at my current job. They have a vast options for all your company needs, from preventative, maintenance, audit support in all levels, and they have the technology tools and staff to support you in the journey. Some of the areas that we can see is the custom process improvements, comprehensive advice on tax matters, monitoring your suppliers, SAT audits, KPIs, and integration management of electronic records. A lot of the times when we get audited and they ask us for the information, we're not even sure that we have all of the information compiled. So it is critical that we have the right tools to be ready for all of the audits. Their team consists of legal, fiscal, custom, and supply chain experts that led by their experienced director with a long history as a custom compliance partner for Latin America in the Big Known Four, as you already know. Here are some other areas where they can also support you. Now, TINKTAX has worked with many international renowned companies and continue to grow their base on their knowledge and quality of service. We can see many of the companies that we interact with on a daily basis here. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Silvia. Well, we hope that this information is interesting for your company, for the residents abroad, to know how is the authority right now thinking, the actions that the authority is planning to carry out. Here in this slide, you can see the leaders of different areas, as well as the legal practice, the fiscal, the tax practice, transfer pricing practice, audit practice, and OEA and city practice. Well, if you have any questions, please let us know through our emails. We're going to be happy of discuss many of these topics with you in case by case regarding your company needs. And Silvia, thank you very much. Milvia, thank you very much. See you in the next webinar. Thank you for all. Have a nice day. See you.
Yes.